Hello girls and guys, welcome back to the channel. We have got a Golf R in for some minor modification. We are going to be reducing the arch gap a little bit because, well, they look a little bit better, just a little bit lower. It's the only time that losing the gap is a good thing. So let's do a little how-to guide on how to lower it. We actually do have already some eibach springs. We've got some top mounts, the bearings, blah, blah, blah. All importantly, the locking wheel nut. I mean, the rear on these is easiest. The front, that's a bit of a pain. And then we need to do the computer thing to tell it that it's been lowered. The customer's telling me about it. I don't actually know, but we'll explore that avenue. But one thing I like about this Golf R, I'm just going to show you, that is the arch gap we're looking at now. There is the front, and all importantly from the back. So yep, we're going to be taking that down. But the one thing I like about this Golf R, this one in particular, it is manuel. It's not a DSG. Is it DSG? Yeah, it's not a DSG. It's a proper manual. I mean, some would probably say that the DSG might be a little bit better on track and this, that, and the other, but I don't really care. I'm a fan of the manual. So without further ado, what we want to do is, once you've located the locking wheel nut, which the customer lovingly left it on the seat for me. I think we're going to start from the back because we'll do the easiest first. The front is a little bit more involved. We've got to be taking the wipers off and the scuttle panel, so let's get it up in the air. Let's get it from the back. So both wheels are off. 18 here, socket there, and then we'll get this bolt out, and that's the shock absorber, and then we need to undo this 18 through the hub. Then we're just going to gently lower this down, whip the spring out and put the spring in. Before you go too far, I've undone them, got the bolts out, popped it out of the hub. Make sure, because you've got a level sensor arm here, undo it. It's just two T25s. Otherwise, you will break it as the spring pan comes down. One thing I did forget to say, the drop link 13mm bolt goes through here. Get that out as well. And then you can just pull this straight down, and then the spring is out. And then you've got your lovely eibach spring to go back in. And that will go like that, and in there like that, but you do need two hands to do the job. Okay, so we are done with side one. I'm just gonna go over and double check everything's tight. I still need to put the adjuster on. I've got a new torch as well, but it's already day. And then we're gonna move on to side two and then move on to the front. All right, everything's on, tight, and all marked up. There is a purple mark there, but you can't see it now. Side two. All right, we're going to be moving on to the front. Both rears are done. Now, this is not the best representation because the front's jacked up. I've purposely done it so you can't see how it's sitting. But everything's done. We're going to torque the wheel up, put the caps in, finish the whole rear axle nicely. Everything's on, tight, torqued, and, well, except for the wheels at the moment, and paint marked up. So, going to do the front, but finish the rear axle first. All right, we have removed the pinch bolt. We've removed the drop link, unplugged this, and also undone the 10mm that holds this bracket to here, just to give it a little bit more angle on the dangle. I'm going to do the exact same to the other side, and then I'm going to go up top and strip all the top so we've got access to the top suspension, because I don't think we're going to have enough to get that out of the hub. We might actually have to undo it on the bottom ball joints there and undo the hub nut, which is 25mm. Yes, it's a chrome socket. I don't have an impact, unfortunately, but we'll be all right. So yeah, we're going to just free off as much as we can and get it down. All right, so I'm trying to be a bit better with these videos. So I'm back on this side. I've done the same on the other side. So drop link's undone, wiring's undone, release the 10mm for the harness here, pinch bolt's undone. Also the leveling sensor, which you've got on both sides, which is just a 10mm, which I've just dropped there, which I'm going to put back on, get in there. Yeah, that's all good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to undo the hub nut, just in case I need more angle on the dangle. But I'm going to undo these three lower arm bolts there. I believe they're 16mm. Let's find out. Yeah, they're 16s. So I'm going to undo them, undo the hub nut, and then push it out. Try and get the hub. I'm going to try and leave the shock on the car bolted up. I haven't even gone up top and taken off the trim or anything there. But I'm going to try and get the hub off that before we go any further, because well, that's the biggest problem you have with these. I'm going to need my little spready boy to go in the back in a bit. So let's get the 16s off. Right, the three bolts at the bottom are off. Annoyingly, went to go and do the hub nut. battery was on low power, weren't coming off. So we're going to do the other side, then do the top, and then hopefully we'll have enough juice to remove the annoying hub nut. Boy is in there, just open the hub up a little bit. Still got that connector. I'm gonna see if I can do it without undoing the drive shaft. Got these just, the lower arm is just flapping out of the way. So I'm gonna put some loose juice on there and start tapping it down, see if I can get it out. If not, put it back up and undo the hub nut, but doing something while I'm waiting for the battery to charge. One thing forgot, disconnect the wheel speed sensor as well, because when you get this all down, I've done it on the other side, which you can see there, it gets a little bit tight on this, so I had to put it back on to disconnect it. So I'm telling you now, so drive shaft's out, all done. Now we're going to tuck the hub down. We've got Spready Boy in there at the back. There we go. Now it's time to tuck the hub down and get the shocks out. And the weather is on point at the moment. Okay, so there's some clips that go here and here, and luckily when you lift it up, you've got enough room to get to the 313s. You'll notice that it's not there because whoop-a, shock is out. Now, gonna swap this one round. Well, I might as well take the other side off as well, and then do all together. So, one shocking situation nearly sorted. Right, well, we're all back together. It's got new top mounts and new bearings in there as well. That's a very good plug for eibach there. Everything's all connected. Used the little Spready Boy, pushed it up, put the lower arm back in, put the bolts back in. Everything's all greased and marked up and all tight and torqued up. Now, it's wheels on. I'm with the customer, and he is insisting that it does need a calibration, so we'll show you how to do that too. Okay, so as per instructiones, the car needs to be all four wheels off the ground. So I've gone with a mixture of axle stands and my lift because I got something on my four-post. So now we're going to lower it down and do this calibration. Right, so according to what my customer's telling me, these need to be programmed. Because they've lowered, you need to change the settings or do an adaption. Otherwise, it's because of dampening, it becomes just too bouncy. So, I mean, yeah, why not? Right, so the customer's using OBD 11. This is weird, I'm recording him doing the work. And then you go into basically suspension, which is... I have a feeling it's going to be this. I have no idea. Literally, this is not my thing. So yeah, we are just playing around. Right, so it gives you adapting with deflected wheels.
Deflected wheels, yeah. This is what most of the forums are saying.
Yep.
So okay. We're going to run it.
So run an adaption.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what that means. Wait. Oh, well, no.
Let me have a double check to see what's going on here.
Yeah.
The values as they should be changed.
So we've worked it out. I mean, not gonna lie, we did actually kind of have to watch a video on how to do this. So we went into the suspension, entered a code that we found online. Don't ask. I would definitely Google this part of it because we're not sure. But it did change the suspension values marginally, and it's done an adaption reset on the suspension, so it shouldn't be as jiggly and bouncy, which is something we'd all probably like as a passenger seat. But it's all set and all done. So on this bit, I would show you, but we were getting involved and we got lost and I just didn't record it at the time. So for that bit, definitely go online. You will need that app, which was
OBD 11.
OBD 11. You will need that.
Or VCDS.
Or VCDS. So yeah, that's how you do it. So now we're just going to lower it down, get it back on its wheels, torque up the front wheels, and take it for a little road test. So there we have it. I've just been told by the customer that it was a 10mm drop. Just wanted it a little bit more of a stiffer ride with the springs. They're a little bit different rated and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's done it. It's done it nice. Like, it's made it look really nice. So I'm happy about that. So now, let's take it on a quick little road test to make sure all is good. All right, been for a nice little road test. I am very happy. It feels lovely, in fact. So this one is done.